Whew, I haven't done one of these in a while. Hey guys, and welcome back to another discussion video. So, today we are going to be talking about Season 12 of Doctor Who. So, if you have not caught up to Doctor Who or seen Season 12, I highly suggest you get caught up, because we're up to episode 5 at time of recording. So, anywhere up to episode 5 of series 12 of Doctor Who, there will be spoilers. You have been warned. Okay, and the big reveal, Captain Jack Harkness is in the episode.
You can get excited now.
You missed me, right?
And now that's got rid of all the people that just skipped the spoiler warning that haven't seen it, have now clicked off the video, we can actually get into what we're really talking about. So, obviously, we have what seems to be a new Doctor.
Hello, I'm the Doctor.
Who this Doctor is or what it is what we're here to talk about. So, who is Ruth? Is she the Doctor that we know? Is she a Doctor from somewhere else? Let's discuss. So, as we're introduced to Ruth, it's clear that she's turned herself human like the 10th Doctor did, using the chameleon arch. I believe that's what it's called. Anyway, so she turned herself human, so she forgot everything and all that. So, this in turn reveals that she's in fact a Time Lord, which we later find out has the same DNA and seemingly brain as the Doctor, which confuses things a lot, especially from a timeline perspective of Doctor Who. So, clues about where Ruth could fit in the Doctor's timeline. So, we're going on the assumption now, at the minute, that this possibility is that Ruth is actually a version of the Doctor we know. Where could she fit? Okay, so let's see. What clues have we got to where Ruth would fit in the timeline? Clue 1 is the sonic screwdriver. She doesn't have one. Now, the first Doctor to use the sonic screwdriver was the second Doctor, which is coincidentally the same style of TARDIS that Ruth seems to have. She seems to have a second Doctor style TARDIS. Is that a coincidence? Maybe, maybe not. But what's interesting is the TARDIS itself is a police box, as we all know and love it. But that's where the problem begins, because in Time of the Doctor, we see that Clara is the one that shows the first Doctor where the TARDIS is. And also that the TARDIS doesn't look like this. And the TARDIS is, I guess, like a grey cylinder. But essentially, after it goes and lands on Earth, then it gets stuck as the phone box as we know and love. But that would require then for Ruth to have a phone box style TARDIS that she would have at some point had to have been the first Doctor. So that's where the confusion lies. She seems to be in between the first and second. But that doesn't make sense. We clearly see the Doctor regenerate from the first to the second. There's no leeway. So, what are the other possibilities? Well, possibility 2, as I call it, is she's from a different dimension. Because we've seen other dimensions in the past, they do exist in Doctor Who. But there's just one little thing. When the 10th Doctor entered another dimension in his TARDIS lost power. And it basically became unusable. It was only until, the power was able to be restored. It wasn't exactly an easy thing for the Doctor to just get in his TARDIS like we see Ruth do. If she'd brought her TARDIS over to our dimension, then it wouldn't be in the full working capability as we see hers is. Also, Gat is also from wherever Ruth is from. She's chasing her, she finds him, whatever. But that's not the point. Gat has clearly come from wherever Ruth has come from. So the question is like, what's going on? Because if it was one person come from nowhere, kind of explainable. Two people from separate ships and everything, what's going on? Where have they come from? And this gives me on to possibility 3. Ruth is the second Doctor. Now you may be thinking, what? How do you even get that? How do you get that? Well, from like I said earlier, everything seems to point to it being like the second Doctor. My possibility 3 is there is a split in the Doctor Who timeline. I don't know how, I don't know what caused it or anything, but my possibility 3 is that there's a split. And like we've been told, regeneration, it's a lottery. You don't always get the same results. I think that at some point, some changes happened so that William Hartnell's Doctor in another timeline didn't regenerate into the second Doctor that we know. She regenerated into Ruth. Ruth then went off and hid, and that's when we see the events unfolding. It still has a lot of unanswered questions. Like Gal said, how can two Doctors exist in the same timeline? Yes, we've seen that in the past. We've seen Doctors interacting with each other, but there's always been a reason. Here, we had no reason why they was able to simultaneously take up the same space with no problems. There was no reason given, and I don't know what it is. But if they're maybe not quite the same Doctor, for some reason or another, it works. But the thing that gets me more is that the Sonic reads them as the same person. So what's going on there? I think when it comes down to it, Ruth is the Doctor. But she's not the Doctor we know. She is not part of the Doctor's past or the Doctor's future, but yet she's still the Doctor, which is the conundrum in itself. How can she not be the past or the future, but still be the Doctor? Well, we've always took it for granted that there's sort of only one Doctor. But why is that the case? Why is there only one being that's the Doctor's essence and that? Because especially from multiple dimensions, there's going to be multiple Doctors. But there is a lot of things still unanswered. What's going on, I don't know. It's going to take a lot of working out. Also, I don't think anyone would really doubt this, but I'm certain that from these two pictures here, that Ruth definitely had the police box as a style of TARDIS when it was buried. It hadn't changed because of the Doctor being in the environment and changing its form to match essentially what it thinks is its owner's perception of what it should look like. It's not changed to fit the Doctor's environment by changing as a police box, because the fact is, in her house we have things that resemble the TARDIS-like shapes and things. We have the windows looking like the windows of the TARDIS, and we also have the hexagonal mirror looking like certain bits of the TARDIS, and also her glasses were that sort of shape as well from when she is the Doctor. She also said that she had a job she didn't apply for, but that she couldn't leave either. What this job is, that is probably the other big mystery. What was this job that she was doing for Gat in the first place? And how do you get a job that you don't apply for unless you were specifically made to do that job? And when I mean made, I almost like being born and raised to do that job, essentially programmed as a young person to do the job provided. What that would actually mean, I don't know. Why that would be a version of the Doctor that would be the person programmed to do it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she's not even the second regeneration. Just because Gat didn't know what the Doctor looked like because she's clearly regenerated before she's done the chameleon arch, doesn't mean that she's the second Doctor. She could be the third version of that Doctor, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth. We simply don't know. Now, what a lot of you may be thinking, and of course I've been thinking the same thing, is this related to the Timeless Child? Is Ruth the Timeless Child? Maybe is like the best thing we can give right now. We don't know, because it's not the only arcing thing that seems to be happening in Doctor Who right now. Obviously, now we've got the stuff that Jack's doing with the Cyberman. Well, I'm sure we'll find out about that later in the series. But we've also got the stuff with the Master destroying Gallifrey. Is that connected? Yes, they've come from a Gallifrey, but that Gallifrey hasn't been destroyed, so maybe? It's all up in the air for now. But I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. What do you think? Do you think Ruth is the Timeless Child? Do you have any other theories on what or who Ruth truly is? And can you fit her into the Doctor's timeline somewhere that actually fits, that doesn't destroy continuity? So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next episode. Bye.